Most digestion issues will not heal no matter how healthy you eat or the supplements you take. And this is because of a little known and often invisible block that sits in your digestion, causing problems even when you eat perfectly and take all the right supplements. So in this video, I'm going to show you what this block is and how to see if it's the thing messing up your digestion. And I'll turn you on to what you need to do to release this so that you can have the wonderful digestion that you want. So let's start with the most fun topic for anyone with digestion issues, and that's your diet. Now, if you just groaned and rolled your eyes at me, don't worry. I'm not going to recommend some crazy diet because honestly, I've watched people eat horribly with tons of processed and inflammatory foods, and somehow their digestion is wonderful. And I've watched people eating all the right ways, zero processed, all organic, the healthiest foods you can get, and their digestion was an absolute wreck. See, what you eat makes a difference, but often it is not enough. And that makes me think of a patient of mine, Melanie, who, when we first met, she had years of digestion issues with cramps and bloating and diarrhea. And yeah, we may talk about poop a little bit today, so I hope you're okay with that. But through trial and error, Melanie had eliminated a bunch of food from her diet, and she was down to eating only bland food like rice and chicken. And she ate this way, otherwise her digestion would flare up and she'd get bloated. She'd be in a ton of pain for several days to a couple of weeks. And the only thing she could do was lay in bed and run to the bathroom over and over. She got so hyper-focused on food to the point that she was afraid to eat. If I eat this, will that flare me up? Or can I eat that today? Well, I want to ask you to do something that may sound a little difficult, but I want you to stop thinking that what you eat will fix your digestion. And this is because I've been in practice for 32 years and I've seen every type of diet improve digestion, and I've seen every type of diet wreck digestion. And just like Melanie, I've had patient after patient make all kinds of diet changes and still struggle with their digestion. Well, when this happens, it means there's something else going on. This is where I see people usually jump into nutritional supplements. And Melanie was taking a bunch of supplements and asked me the question that I get all the time. Are these good for me, Dr. Steve? Well, I looked at the list she was taking and they all sounded good. She had a prebiotic, she had a probiotic, she had one for leaky gut, she had two for bacterial overgrowth, so she'd obviously done her research. And I told her they look good, but are they helping you? And when I asked her that question, she didn't know if they were helping her or not. She was taking them. She didn't know if they were helping her or not. She was taking them hoping they were going to help her, but her digestion was still horrible. So I told her that we may actually have her stop taking all of her supplements. And she looked at me like I was crazy. But I need this support, and that sounded so good, and we all need a probiotic, right? Well, I knew that look on her face, and it was shock because I was telling her we most likely needed to do less. And I totally get it because when you're struggling, you need to do something to help yourself, and stopping the supplements that may be working can sound really crazy. And then I asked her if she had any idea why her digestion was like this. And like 95% of my patients, she didn't know why. She always had sensitive digestion growing up and had intense bouts in junior high, and the bouts got more intense in high school, and she just kept getting worse and worse. So I asked her, how was your childhood? And she told me that there was a lot of family stress and living with her mom was pretty rough. And as she told me this, she slumped back in her chair, her shoulders sagged, and she looked beaten down. And so I asked her, do you see how you feel as you tell me about growing up? And she paused and said she felt heavy. And how does it feel in your gut? I asked her. Well, she went quiet and teared up, and she said it felt sad in her belly. This is where I knew I could help her, because we had just hit on the invisible block that was causing her digestion issues, and that's old emotional pain. And right now, I want you to check in with yourself, just like Melanie did. So put your hands on your belly, right where you feel your digestion issue. And it often helps to close your eyes and look down as you do this. But I want you to tune in to how your digestion feels. If it hurts, notice that. If you're bloated, notice that. Whatever it is for you, feel it and pay attention to it. Now, as you tune into that, be open and ask your digestion to show or tell you why it feels like it does, and then wait and see what comes to you. And you can pause me here if you need time. I'll wait. And so what did you get? Did you feel sad, angry, something negative? Well, if you did sense something, then congratulations. Now you know that old emotional pain is blocking your digestion. And in a little bit, I'll show you what we can do about that. Now, if you didn't get anything, that is okay. Over half of my patients don't sense it at first, and I'll help you with that. So don't be too hard on yourself and just hang on. Okay. Either way, over 90% of the people I have worked with who had digestion issues that did not heal with diet and supplements had emotional block. That's not their digestion. The difficulty is you cannot see these blocks. Okay. Melanie remembered her rough childhood and her digestion issues, but she couldn't see how they were connected to her digestion. She couldn't see that she stored emotional pain from her life in her digestive system. See, it's easy to change what you can see, like your diet and taking supplements, but it's impossible many times on your own to find and change what you can't see and what you don't know about. So here's what you can do to help yourself with these emotional blocks. Now, if you did not feel or sense anything when I had you check in with your digestion, please don't feel frustrated or bad, right? Over half my patients can't sense this the first time. But what I want you to do is keep rechecking with yourself. Just like I had you do, put your hands over your digestion, feel it. Do this again today when you're laying in bed, riding in the car. Every day when you have a moment, turn your attention to your digestion and see what feelings or insights you get. Because when you keep checking in, a cool thing happens is that your body senses you're listening to it in a new way. And at some point, it will show you, it will speak to you. Now, it can take a bit, but keep going until you get an answer. And if you did feel or sense emotional blocks in your digestion, that's wonderful. You now know you have emotional blocks or are causing your digestive issues. And when Melanie did this, she could sense the emotional pain, right? And I helped her make that connection. And what we did is we got to work releasing her emotional blocks. And within 4 weeks, her digestion improved massively with less pain, less bloating, fewer bouts of diarrhea. And she started to actually add food back into her diet without having a flare up. And right now, Melanie has not had digestion issues in 3 years. She went to Europe. She's going to conferences all the time for her work, a meditation retreat in Mexico, a trip to Europe. She is no longer stuck at home, afraid of eating and having another flare up. She can go out, and she's not been to the hospital in years. She eats a bunch of different foods, and her medical doctors even told her she looks great now. So that leaves us with one big question. How do you release your emotional blocks? Well, whether you felt the emotional connection to your gut or not, when I had you check in, I find that over 90% of the time, my patients with digestion issues have emotional blocks. So assume you have them and go watch this video next, where I'll take you through a guided healing session created specifically to help release your emotional blocks.